Hi, my name is Sheun Onamusi. I'm a trust leadership coach and a serial entrepreneur. Now, I'm conscious that some of you at Sapphire Sense Distribution Network and the franchise don't know who I am. A number of you already do. You already follow me on Instagram and you know about me. But let me just encapsulate what I do. So I inspire, I train, and I develop people. And how I do that is I've trained people across board through my masterclasses, my seminars on how to build successful businesses, how to build leadership, thought-provoking businesses that are world-class and global. And then I also develop by mentoring sessions that I do. But most importantly, and perhaps what most people know me for, and you probably know me for, is that I inspire people through my own entrepreneurial exploits. Now, my entrepreneurial exploits will take a number of minutes for us to go through. But you probably know of the TM Lewin. So I did the first TM Lewin franchise here in Abuja a number of years ago. And I have a luxury shoe brand, which is a global shoe brand in the UK, which sells across board. And I'm a published author, and recently I got a doctorate degree. So you probably already know all of that. And I've only given you that explanation so that you know who you're talking to and who is talking to you at this moment. Now, we've consciously set this moment to empower you as business owners with the needed information. These information I'm about to share with you are information that have been used, tested, and trusted by known brands. Some of the brands that you use on a daily basis, from the Apple to Samsungs to Nike to Ferragamo to Adidas to Gucci. These are all brands that you know. And of course, most recently to Sapphire Sense, because it's a growing brand across Nigeria and across the world with distributors across the world in UK, US, and it's a growing, well-known, trusted brand. Now, these tips that I'm going to share with you, I want you to think about this. I call them the affinity index. So I call it the affinity index to building a good, successful brand. You are a business owner, you're an independent business owner, and you probably chose to become a business owner for different reasons. You probably came into the business because you wanted financial freedom. Most of you probably thought, okay, I want the freedom of my time, and that's the reason why I've gone into business with Sapphire Sense. It shows a very good value proposition. It's told me how much I can earn, and I personally commend the team in Sapphire Sense, and especially the visionary Wale, for the exceptional work he has done in developing a good business structure that can empower you and make you money. Wale is not in it to just make money for himself. He's in it to make sure that you make money as well. But you need information, and that's what I'm about to share with you. And when I call this thing Affinity Index, this is something that is bespoke to me. And as a matter of fact, this is the first time that I'm sharing it on camera anywhere in the world. So you are the first set of people listening to this Affinity Index. So I want you to remember that these tips will make sure and will guarantee that you have success as a business owner. Now, that affinity spelled A-F-F-I-N-I-T-Y. And I've spelled it consciously because there is a story behind it, and you're going to use them as an acronym. So there's an acronym there, Affinity, A-F-F-I-N-I-T-Y. So remember that. Now, as a background, I always like to say that there's a price to pay for anything you're trying to achieve as a business owner. If you want to make money, you have to pay something. There's a price to pay. But in Nigeria alone, there are 1.27 million registered businesses in Nigeria alone. Now, that's minus the ones that are not registered. And this was as at 2017. So these businesses are competing with the same set of people. So how do you stand out? Same thing with the UK. Same thing with the distributors in America. Businesses growing, there are a lot of registered businesses in the world. People probably doing the same thing you're doing. But how do you stand out? What makes people really, really come to you and not to the other person? That's what the Affinity Index is all about. So let's go straight into it. The A in Affinity stands for attraction. Now, Sapphire Sense has a fantastic branding that is very attractive. You see the bottles and you see how it looks, and you see the entire packaging is attractive. That's the first part. You know, if you look at an iPhone, for example, when you want to change your iPhone, one of the first things you look at is how does it look? You ask yourself, is it too big? Is it too small? You look at something that attracts you to it. And that attraction is very important. Sometimes the attraction is not something physical, it might be something inside. So my question to you now is, as a business, what is that attraction that you're selling to your audience? Because people would only let go of their money if they trust what you're selling and if they're attracted to what you're selling. So attraction is very important, because a lot of the things that we see and we believe is based, a lot of the things that we believe is based on the things that we see. So attraction is very important. Now, you have your store. You probably have your distribution network. How attractive is the way you're selling it? When you go and meet a customer, how attractive are you? Are you representing Sapphire Scent? You have to ask yourself that question. Are you attractive? And I'm not talking about fine or not fine, that's not what I'm talking about. Are you actually representing? Are you a physical representation of what you're trying to sell? And also the environment you're selling from, how attractive it is. How attractive is it? So you have to remember that, because an excellent profitable business, the type used as case studies in business schools, have a unique attraction to them. This is the natural affinity to such businesses, because people just feel attracted to it. Oh, I like the logo. I just like it. It looks good. So remember that. And I use examples. You have the likes of BBC, you have different logos. You see how they look. So easily you can see that they're attractive. Now, the F is focus. The F is focus. If you want to build a profitable business, you have to be focused. If you want to build a successful business, a trusted business, you have to be focused. So as a distributor, are you focused on your business, or is it just another means to an end? You have to dedicate 100% to what you're doing right now. You have to be focused. And when you're selling to people, you have to be focused in what you're trying to achieve. You can't be distracted. You go and meet a customer, for example. You want to stay on par. Yes, have conversation with them, ask them how they're doing, have all those conversations with them and try and, get to know each other. But don't forget why you are there. Don't forget why you're there. You have to be focused at making sure that your business is successful. Some of the most trusted brands are one of the most focused brands. You would never see Apple trying to build a farm. You would not see Samsung trying to sell shirts. They stick to their lane. You have to develop a knack for what you're doing and stay within that lane. There's a strength that Sapphire Scent offers. Sapphire Scent offers this luxury. It offers this experience. So stick by it. Don't try and sell Sapphire Scent for what it is not. It is already strong enough. It already has a strong brand proposition. So stick to it and make sure that you align yourself with that, because it is those brands that are consistent at doing what they're doing over the years that are most trusted. And it is the trust that determines how much money that comes your way. I wouldn't trust somebody. If I don't trust somebody, I wouldn't want to give them my money. So it is very important that if you want to grow your business as a distributor or as a franchisee, you want to make sure that you stick to the strength. I've been a franchisor before. So I franchised TM Lewin, which is a UK brand. I had worked with TM Lewin in the UK before I moved to Nigeria. But one thing that I decided to do that made our business successful at the time was that I made sure that I stuck to the strength of TM Lewin, which is quality shirts and suits. Quality shirts, suits, ties. That's it. I wasn't going to open the store and start putting Babariga in the store because it doesn't make sense. So I stick to the forte. Make sure that you stick to it because that's going to make you successful. Now, the I stands for impact. Okay, now how does this impact translate? Let me read what I've written down here. Impact is best described as the difference between before and after your customer encounters your brand. How do you get your team or your business? How do you get that business to produce the needed high impact within your chosen industry, within this luxury market, how do you make sure it has a high impact? Well, let me make it simple. There is positive and there's negative impact, okay? Negative impact is I had a bad customer experience, I'm never going back. Positive impact on the other end is that I had a great customer service. Therefore, I'm referring 10 more customers. And guess what? You have made more money that way. So always remember that if you have good impact, after your customer have met you, you are guaranteed more money because they will refer you to somebody else. So make sure that you are having the positive impact and not the negative impact. Now the N in the affinity stands for nutrition. Again, this I might spend a few minutes on that quickly. What do I mean by nutrition? Nutrition is based on what you feed yourself, basically, what is going inside of you. Every business has a structure that allows, every successful business, let me put it that way, every successful business has a structure of making sure that there's good nutrition coming into it. That's why your pastor, for example, won't invite just anybody to come and speak, because he wants to feed you a certain way. So he'll make sure that he handpicks the type of people that comes to speak to you. Sapphire Scent has done a great job. Some of my very good friends, Paul Fo, Jimmy Tewe, a number of really great guys have come to speak to you in Sapphire Scent already. That shows that Wale knows how important good nutrition is, or Sapphire Scent team, they know how important the good nutrition is. So we are giving you good nutrition, giving you tips that can help you succeed. Make sure that you also add good nutrition to that. So every day, follow Jimmy Tewe, follow Paul Fo, follow myself, follow Fela, follow different people, follow people that will inspire you, follow other perfumeries or other businesses outside the country that can inspire you to be able to sell better, to do better as a business. So remember that, because what you feed yourself is very, very important. And now, the other I stands for individuality. Let me read what I wrote here. Each business unit is made up of several individuals. Now the question is, how do you ensure that everybody that is in your business is thinking like you, is behaving like you? Now this might be more for the franchisees than just the distributors, because maybe the franchisees have a team that is working with them. So don't keep your eye off the ball. If you have anybody within your business that is working for you, whether it's your logistics departments, whether it's your customer service, anybody that is working with you, make sure that they're also feeding on the same content as you're feeding on. Make sure you replicate yourself into the individuals in your business, because Rome was not built in a day, but it was not built by one person. So you have to make sure that your team are also a replication of you, because you need that collective success. Because sometimes people might like you, but they might just not like the lady behind the counter. And all of a sudden, because the lady behind the counter does not believe in what she's doing very well, all of a sudden they spoil business for you and nobody else is coming back to your franchise store. So you have to remember, the individuals you put in your business are very important. Make sure they think like you. Do staff training on a regular basis if you have a franchise. Make sure you do that. And then the T stands for traction. I wouldn't bother to stand too long on this because this might take a bit of time, but this is it. The traction stands for this. Whatever is working well within the business, make sure that you keep doing what's working. Don't try and rework the wheel. Whatever is working, track your success every time and make sure that you keep doing it. So for example, a particular post, maybe a post with a celebrity, worked for you. You had a lot of business inquiries that generated business for you. Guess what you should do? Post such pictures more often. Do what is working, and don't just do anything. Find out what's working and continue on that traction. And then lastly is what I call yeast or yeastiness. I know this might sound a lot of grammar, but don't worry. I'm sure you're remembering those things within there, and I'll probably get the team to post these words so that you can understand it wherever it's going to get posted, where the video is going to get posted. But yeastiness basically is just like I was saying about individuals. multiply yourself within the business. Get people on board to join Sapphire Scent. Get more distributors to join the business, because the more people that are within the business, the more the brand grows, the more people trust you. Because people like to trust something they see a lot. They just don't have one encounter with it and say, oh, we trust it. No, there has to be consistency. So make sure that, like the yeast, when you put it in a dough, it multiplies and grows the dough. Make sure that you're a yeast to this business. Make sure you yourself are contributing great efforts, making sure that there are more distributors, making sure that you're building a team that think like you, that have the vision of Sapphire Scent. I hope that is clear enough. If you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to the Sapphire Scent team and reach out to myself. We'll be able to clarify on these things. But just remember that word affinity. Affinity in its definition means attraction. Affinity is what makes somebody just look at something and say, I like it. I want to join this. And nobody who has ever been successful as a brand has ever been successful without all the things I've mentioned. They had something that was attractive about them. They in every way were focused. They had a forte. They stuck to their forte. They weren't trying to be jack of all trades. They always ensured they were there. They were individuals. They had high impacts. They had the right nutrition. They kept up with the right traction. Whatever was working, they kept doing it. They don't just rework the wheels without making sure. And guess what? They multiplied themselves. That's how you do it. That's why Apple would have a laptop, will have a phone, will have earphones. They multiply themselves. Look for those things that you can add. What's the value add that you can add to your business for your customer? Ask yourself that question, because your customer wants more than just oud. They want more than just perfume. They can pick it up anywhere. They want value. So how will you add value is my question. Follow these points that I've mentioned, and I can guarantee you'll see a drastic difference in your business. Thank you very much for your time. I'm conscious that I've taken a number of your time to take you through it. I wish I had more time, because usually this is an hour long of training, but I've tried to condense it because I would have loved to explain a little bit more and give you more examples. But this is just a quick video to inspire you, to teach you some of these points. Let me end on this note. Every one of you that has taken the decision to start a business, you are already a success for starting. What you have to do now is to replicate your success, to maintain your success, to grow your success, to grow your influence. I want to congratulate you for sticking to it. There might be one or two people who started and they've just said, you know what, I'm not doing anymore. But you are sticking to it. And I can guarantee you, I've studied Sapphire Scent. I've looked at the business plan. I've looked at all the things that the Sapphire Scent team are doing. I'm a digital consultant with one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the UK. I have a luxury brand. In terms of speaking, I'm out there. And I've worked with global brands. I've worked with Zara. I've worked with Armani. I've worked with different brands. I've worked with Nike. I've worked with Primark. I've worked with TM Lewin, of course. So I know how luxury is being sold, and I can guarantee you there's potential in Sapphire Scent for everybody that is a distributor. I can tell you that categorically. It's a great product. It has a great value proposition. It's now up to you to apply these things that we've shared and the things that we keep sharing with you to make sure that you don't just take a concept from thinking, but you also make yourself money and you become even more successful on a regular basis. So connect with me. I'm on social media. People know me as Still Dapper, that's STILLDAPPER, but my name is Sheun David Onamusi. So if you go to my website, which is www.sdonamusi.com, connect with me. I want to hear your testimony. I want to hear how you've applied these things. I want to hear, because I'm sure within 3 months, give yourself 3 months, apply these things rigorously, and you will see a sizable difference in what you're currently doing. Thank you very much for your time. And remember, Be inspired, live inspired, and stay inspired. Thank you.